Let's talk about what we're talking about here, the knowledge of chosen sport. Let's talk about your knowledge. So the more you know about a sport, the more you can implement it into your coaching. So the more, let's give an example. So for example, types of coaching, like the different styles of coaching. If one player coaches, you're coaching all the players the same. For example, you can self-teach where you give them a drill and they keep doing it over and over, or is there's the telling them to do something. You know, the command style coaching is you gain this knowledge through coaching, and if you're not already a coach and you volunteer as a coach, you gain this knowledge. So that's on the volunteering part, and I think that they are very, very, very key points to why volunteering is very important as a coach. So let's talk about my role at AFC Darwin. So myself, when I got to AFC Darwin, well, as soon as I got there, coach just he introduced me and he got straight on with it, and that was it. He just literally there was no humming and hawing. It's literally just, all right, guys, this is James. He's from he's going to help out on with the coaching a bit. He's from UCLan, and that was it. He just literally jumped into doing his own thing, and from then on, I kind of like, at the beginning, I was a bit lost, to be fair. I'd never been at coaching at this level. It's kind of uncomfortable. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just watching. I was analysing him as a coach, and I didn't put myself out there. I wasn't the best, to be fair, at the start. So after a couple of sessions, and I've analysed the way that each player is getting coached, and analysed how they're playing, the banter the players have, and how the players work, and developed a relationship with these players. It became easier. It was my role at Darwin is like an assistant coach. There was another assistant coach right there. I had to start getting involved a bit, and so watching the team coach, he was all I had to do at the start was put bibs out, give the players bibs, arrange. I didn't arrange drills. I was told what I was doing. At the start, I was literally, all right, James, I'm setting up an attacking drill. Do you want to put cones out here, and here? And then it was tedious. I was getting told what to do, and to be fair, it was good for me. So further into my not training, I should say training, but further into my coaching at AFC Darwin, kind of developed me more as a coach, because I ended up analysing these drills, for example, possession, attacking, defending, and the drills that the coach would do. I knew where the cones were, so instead of getting there and watching where he's putting his cone and trying to doing it symmetrical to his, I knew where I knew where he'd put the cones, and I knew what type of possession games and his warm up. It was interesting because how fast I picked up on it. So coming to the end of my time at Darwin, so around about 16 hours, as soon as I get there, coach would literally just say, all right, James, do you want to just help set up a you can't get my words out, help set up a possession game, or help warm up the players. And it was, it became fun. It became, I was more involved, getting involved as a coach. So let's talk about my reflection time at AFC Darwin. The positives, eh? So what I believe were positives. So my experience at AFC Darwin in the beginning was nervous, but that's all feelings. And I've not coached at that level, you know what I mean? It was a semi-professional coaching. I'd never been involved in that type of coaching. So after a couple of sessions, I found it easier, kind of got to know the players. And the reason I found it easier to get to know these players is because, see, I'm 22 years old, and these players were all, I think the youngest was 17 that was there. And although that we're all very similar age, so it was easier to talk and bond and create a relationship. And I'll talk about this in a minute, but I kind of developed a friendship, which isn't always a great thing, but it's something you try not to do as a coach. So around halfway through my coaching, I started to get excited to come to training, you know, help out with the sessions. Although what you know, watching the you know, the first team coach and stuff like that, and watching his types of drills, and I'm developing and I'm picking up all his skills and his knowledge of the game, and I'm adding it onto my, you know, my football CV, I should say, my coaching CV. So it helped me develop as a coach. So another thing I could say that was I analysed this coach, and he was more of a, you know, it was a laid back coach. He basically, it was one of them coaches, you know, you're here to do. I'm not forcing you to be here. You're here because you want to be here. You know, you're here to play football. You're here to train. You're here to win games. You know what I mean? It wasn't that. All right, guys, get straight. Do this. Do that. Do that. It wasn't a commanding guy. You know what I mean? If you wanted to do it, he was there to do it because you wanted to be there. He didn't force you to be there. Whereas the way I kind of as I got there, and I noticed myself becoming a different type of coach. I was more of a friendly coach. You know what I mean? I was getting involved with it. I was just telling the coach, I was just on a different level, so I was having a lot more banter with the players. And I think that's due to me, you know, my lack of experience and my, you know, me being a similar age to them players. It's not really an excuse, but it's, you know, you learn by life experiences, and I believe that, through and throughout. So let's talk about the so-called negatives. I'm not going to say the negative. They are and they're not, because it's all experience. So, as I said, I was nervous at the start. I was uncomfortable. I'd never coached at this level. It was important that I got involved, but at the start it was tedious. It was how could I say, without sounding bad, it was the fact that I had to pay to get there, and it was the lack of motivation. It was horrendous, to be fair. But throughout my sessions, I noticed, like previously I said, I've become friends with the players, and this isn't always a good thing, because although I knew certain players out of the football, for example, I had a friend group in that team, but that was out of the football team, if you know what I mean. So creating a friend group isn't good, not as a coach. I understand that you have to create a decent atmosphere and have fun with the players, but not be a friend. A friend is a different thing. It's not a coach. You're there to coach. You're not there to be fun. You're not there to make friends. So I did a little looking up, and I read this thing, and it said, according to Jim Taylor and Gregory Wilson, it says understanding the coach and athlete relationship is a key part to becoming a great coach. And the way I analyse that is the fact that he talks about understanding the coach and athlete relationship, and I believe that comes with experience. See, like I experienced, and I jumped straight away. I jumped onto the friend wagon, and I believe that's due to the lack of experience. So let's talk about motivation. So in the beginning, like I said, I found it hard to go to get up and go to these training sessions, even though it was Tuesdays and Thursdays. Oh God, it was, at the start it was a bit of a, I didn't really want to do it, But then throughout the sessions, kind of started to enjoy it, It was good. It was good. So future-wise, I think it helped me because I noticed that motivation from going to the club and developing as a coach and gaining knowledge from each of the players, should I say. It wasn't the fact that it was just the coach I gained knowledge from, it was the players. Like, for example, learning how different players play and putting these players here. For example, the left back, he was very talented, and he was talented. For example, he could put balls in anywhere, and he was very good with his footwork, and he was a left back. And at the start I didn't get it. I thought, well, why is he not playing? Why don't they play him on the wing, or why don't they put him in the centre as a central player? Although he wasn't a tall player, he was a very creative player. And I analysed that through watching his games, because on Thursday sometimes it'd be a match day. So I didn't understand it, but then watching him, I understood that he's a lot better at defending. He knows the defending game better than their current defender, should I say, their recent defender or substitute defender in left back position, because although he's a very good attacking player, he's also a very good defending player, and his defending outweighed his attacking. And that's where I gained the knowledge. So at the start I was thinking, no, chuck him straight in the middle, he's a creative player. Whereas at the end I thought, stick him there, he's staying there, he's good, he knows his job, he does his job right. So let's talk about motivation and how I think how this has affected me. So according to Stephen D and Sheldon Hampton, setting goals is great to increase motivation. For example, they say that goals goals can be considered as a direct motivational strategy. And the way I analysed this was that to increase my motivation, for example, to go into training and trying to enjoy it at the start, I started to set myself small goals. And let's not get into these small goals at the moment. Let's talk about a bit about the past. For example, when I was younger, I'd set myself these extreme goals. These goals that it was almost unreachable. You know, these the very large goals, and getting to them, it was trying to make my, you know what I mean. I was setting myself these goals that I'd probably never get to, and you know what I mean. And that's just demotivating in itself. It's upsetting, to be fair. And let's say how this increased my motivation. For example, I'd set these small goals, and once I'd reached these small goals, I'd set another small goal. So let me give you an example. At the start, it was like the first goal that I'd set was started volunteering, Jamie. You've been given the opportunity, started volunteering. And then once that started, you know, there comes the uncomfortability, and then after that I had to set myself another goal. You know, get involved, James, you know. Talk to other players. Don't talk to your friend group in the team. Talk to other players. Get to know the other players. You know, understanding these players makes you a better coach. You know how they think. You know what they're doing out of schools. You know what they're doing out of college. You know, it kind of you create like you're creating these players in your mind. So small goals, setting small goals, and they're being very achievable. It kind of motivated me. It kept me going. You know, today's session I'm going to be more vocal. Next week's session or Thursday's session, you know, I'm gonna speak to the coach and see what he thinks of this drill. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. You know, creating opportunities for myself. You know, growing as a coach. So let's talk about future plans. I've wrote a small brief thing for future plans here, and it states, it says, graduate and become successful sports coach, or hopefully have a job orientated by football. I think that's very brief, and I should elaborate, and I'm going to right now. So, as this is currently my first year at the University of Central Lancashire, and this is the main bit of volunteering that I've done, I understand that, and enjoying my time at Darwin, it's made me think, next year am I going to be a player? I'm a player this year, am I going to be a player next year? I'm thinking about it. I was thinking, let's talk about experience. I was thinking about experience. Should I be a player coach, or should I be a coach, you know? So I decided next year I'm going to be a player coach. I'm going to try and get one of the U-Clan teams, and I'm going to coach them and see where I can get with them. Hopefully, you know, start at the bottom, work my way up. And it says graduate here. Let's say graduate. By graduate, I mean, you know, I don't mean just graduate with a 2-2 or, you know, the drinker's degree. I don't want to get that. Thinking about it, I want to become, you know, I want to gain knowledge into not just coaching or football coaching. I want to gain knowledge into, you know, my degree, sports coaching and development. I understand that more knowledge is better. You know, you can implement it into your coaching. So if I put my head down, crack on with university, and then hopefully I can get a job orientated in football. So, thank you for watching my presentation, and